What is up everyone, this is Share Talking, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I bring you a full review of the two new limited time gacha banners that has Aladdin and then Jasmine from Aladdin. Of course, these two characters will be available during this time period and it's around 3 weeks. And the thing is, Aladdin is a damage dealer, while Jasmine is a support type. And you should actually consider only one of them. I don't think it's safe or even healthy to summon for both. And this time they didn't give us any ticket yet. So I will proceed with caution and maybe only pull 9 times if you are actually thinking about pulling for these characters. Let's start with Aladdin, and well, he's a damage dealer and on area, because his first skill is Green Area Striker, deals heavy damage to enemies plus Green Striker, meaning that enemies that are weak to the green element will receive much more damage. Aladdin also has an EX skill that is somewhat hard to trigger. When his HP regeneration is at level 3 or more and his HP is at more than 80%, he would then deal massive damage to one enemy with Green Striker. So there is one good thing about Aladdin compared to other damage dealers that have EX skills. His EX skill has Green Striker as well. For example, in the past we had other characters that also triggered skills that do damage. We can even check some of them here in the normal gacha by clicking on character info. As you can see, for example, Hero Mickey Mouse. We have a single target attack that costs 20 instead of 35 and deals higher damage because here it's massive instead of heavy, and the EX skill only deals heavy damage. It does not carry Blue Striker. So that means that the EX attack deals less damage if you were using Mickey versus an enemy that is a weak versus the blue element. So that is something new for Aladdin and makes it interesting. But the thing here is he opens with an AoE attack and then his EX skill is single target. Meaning that when you are in a fight where there is a big boss alongside minions, that's the perfect situation where you should be using Aladdin. Although that is unlikely to be something important for the passage of turns. You usually kill the minions in the first or second turn. Okay, and now, if you limit break Aladdin, you're going to get an additional effect that is not shown here, and that will be level 1 defense down to the enemies. And if you limit break him further, it gets to level 2. And his damage gets improved from heavy to massive. That really helps improve his damage potential because it's the same type as it's used for single target. But we have to also consider that he's using 35 points of SP, contrary to 20 points of SP from Mickey Mouse and other damage dealers. So he may cost way too much and you will need extra SP generation to keep him running his damage attack all the time, or at least most of the time. But, well, in my opinion, his EX skill is way too hard to trigger and his design is still a little unoptimal. Using AoE and then using single target with EX, it's not all that great. We already have one Green Striker attacker and that one is Peter Pan, and Peter Pan actually has a good EX skill as well. And Peter Pan has massive damage versus one enemy alongside Green Striker, but since it's single target it costs much less, 20, and it will reach 16 when you limit break him 3 times. The first limit break will give him level 1 defense down for 3 turns. That's the same type of effect that you get with Aladdin. But the thing is, Peter Pan EX skill gives you a 30% of max SP every 3 turns. If you don't change your gauge, that will be 30 points, and that can certainly help in many situations. Since he is more single target focused, it can help. And I'm not using a good ability with Peter Pan here since this account is not really good. But Overall, because of this comparison to Peter Pan, that is a character that can be found in the normal gacha and you eventually may get if you have some luck, I do believe that Aladdin is not that great. He is not really necessary for the event. If you are a fan of the character, it's okay, but since it may take you way too many gens to get the character in Limit Break, I suggest you to actually skip Aladdin. Okay, now let's move into Jasmine. She is a much more interesting character because she was designed as a party support type with a unique buff right now in the game. Well, first of all, she has a 20 SP skill that will give you level 2 attack up for 3 turns, alongside level 2 HP regeneration for 3 turns. If you limit break her once, you're going to get even more. And that is an SP charge of level 2 for 3 turns as well. SP charge effect exists when you are giving custom seeds to your characters, but not as a skill buff. So you can actually get this to up to level 5. Well, and if you limit break her skill to level 2, then she will be casting a level 3 buff. That means with 2 casts, you will have a skill with max effect. And if you limit break it a 3rd time, she would then have a 16 SP cost only. Okay, so what I think is you need at least 1 limit break, because that will give you the most important effect, SP charge. And look at this. If you have SP charge, this will give you 1 point per level. If you get it to level 4, that means 4 SP per turn. If you get it to level 5, that is easier if you cast every turn, or if you cast a level 3 version, and you can skip 1 turn if you want, that is 5 SP per turn for every character in the party. That's right, every character in the party. So Jasmine will generate up to 25 points of SP per turn, and will actually only use 20 or 16 or even just 12 if you give her a SP consumption minus 20% custom seed. That I do believe it's the best one that you can give Jasmine, because she would not benefit from an SP charge custom seed, since she will reach the max cap by cast of her skill. Okay, with this, Jasmine can really replace Mary. Although you could still run Mary if you wanted, because Mary still gives you some extra SP, and you can maybe run 3 damage dealers using their main skills, but I don't think you have space for Mary if you are already bringing Jasmine. Now there's even more. Jasmine has an EX skill that is easy to trigger in most setups. It is Party Heal Plus, and after allies have used their EX skill 3 times, I don't know if the game will check on the Jasmine position in the squad. In that case, it will be better for her to be on the slot number 5. She will then restore 10% of the max HP to all allies. That is the same effect as Rapunzel, as you can see here. And in her case, she just has to be under 3 or more support effects. That is super easily achievable, because if you have any buffer with limit break, you can have 3 effects. Last buffer is like Mini, that actually only buffs 2 and heals. In that case, okay, you are giving more than Rapunzel while still affecting the general squad performance by having extra SP for better skill usage. And after that, she still gains 10% of max SP to herself in that turn. Okay, so when they say max SP, if your characters have max SP plus as a custom seed, you can actually achieve, for example, 150 points if all 5 of your characters carry that seed. It's unnecessary. In that case, Jasmine will get 15 points of SP. But in normal situations it's 10, meaning that if she triggers her EX skill every turn and cast her SP charge and keep it that at level 5, she generates 35 points of SP per turn. That is insane. It's a lot of SP generation, and actually the first character that will change how we use skills besides Marie. And in a boss fight, sometimes you actually want to use a lot of things, since bosses can also apply passives that will stop you from getting SP. So, also moments where you cannot deplete the rage gauge of an enemy, where you have to survive and heal back and cast other support effects. So I do believe that Jasmine is now one of the best characters in the game. The only bad thing about her is that she clashes with many other attack buffers, but if you ignore this part, even the HP regeneration and the SP charge are nice. She still works super well with those that fail it to get a limit break of Bell, because Bell will be buffing your critical hit up and your critical damage up, and the level 2 attack up will actually make it so that your Bell triggers her EX skill as well. Remember that she needs crit chance up and attack up. That may come from her if she is limit broken, but if she's not, then she needs extra help. And sometimes you eventually be clashing some buffs anyway. Well, she still clashes a little with the latest free character, Mini. Even if they clash the attack up, you may still want to have extra healings and defense ups if you didn't manage to get other defensive support. Pooh doesn't really like her as much as maybe Genie, because Pooh will give you defense up, but also HP regeneration. And the first limit break of Pooh will give you evasion. So I do believe that Genie is a little better because he will give you damage reduction alongside evasion, while also attack up that clashes. We'll get other types of support characters as well. She also works well with Pete, if you got Pete with limit break, that is. But she will replace Rapunzel in most squads, because just by being able to heal here via her 10% heal every turn, and also the HP regeneration, it may be enough to heal in most situations. So you can bring other types of defensive support or extra damage to try to kill the enemy as fast as possible. Okay, back to the banner. I believe the Jasmine is worth pulling for. But if you're not Okay, so back in the banner. Okay, back in the banner, I do believe the Jasmine is worth pulling for, while Aladdin is easily skippable. Jasmine is support, meaning that if you already have way too much support, you can also decide to just skip or wait for another type of SP charger that does not clash with some of our best units because of that level 2 attack up. But since her EX skill has 2 effects, I do believe that it's still worth even if she clashes. With the only really problem being that this Jasmine, to be at her full potential, needs at least 1 duplicate, meaning that you may take you 30,000 gens. Since they haven't sent us any ticket yet, you can summon 9 multi-pulls and then wait if they do give or not an extra 10 tickets. If not, go further, pull your 10th time if needed, and get at least 2 copies of Jasmine via the Action Shop if that really is necessary. Anyway, that's the end of the video. What do you think about these 2 characters? And if you pull it for them, say here in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.